Hello everyone and welcome to Bailey's Banquet. Today I'm just knocking up a nice little treat for Bailey, and it is something that you wouldn't have every day, but we're having liver and bacon tonight. So what we're going to do is we're going to incorporate a little banquet for Bailey and have our dinner as well at the same time. Now the ingredients I'm going to use are kidneys, liver, some peas, mint, parsley, spinach, some blueberries, an apple, some oregano, coconut oil and a little olive oil. Now first of all I'm going to prepare the liver. Right, here we go. Get some liver and just cut it into small pieces. I'm not worried about the quantity at the moment, because if it's too much we can always put some aside and freeze it. So I'm roughly chopping the liver, and now I'm going to take a kidney and we're going to cut that down the middle. I'm going to leave the gristle in there, it's not a problem. I'm going to cut some. I'm not by any stretch a dog nutritionist, but I've looked up what is good for our dogs and what isn't, and this is just a treat, a meal for tonight for him, because it's rich in iron and things like that for him. This is something that he'd have once a week, once every couple of weeks. So I'm cutting up roughly the kidneys. What's left over here I'm going to cook up and we're going to eat later for ourselves. So nothing's going to waste. Right, next thing I'm going to do is fry off the kidneys and the liver after I've washed my hands. Okay, I'm pouring a little olive oil into the frying pan. Wait till it heats up. Then we're going to lightly fry the liver and kidneys. It should just sizzle as you put it in. Now while we're doing this, I'll just say that a little olive oil and coconut oil is very good for us, and it's also good for our dogs. I'll be adding the coconut oil a little later. Okay, we don't want to overcook this either, otherwise it can make the liver go a little bit hard. Stir it round. I'm going to bring over the peas. And the rest of the fruit and vegetables. Bailey's a King Charles Cavalier Spaniel, 8 years old. Okay, it's browning off nicely. just going to add the frozen peas in with it. And while that's doing that, I'm just going to chop up some spinach. You don't have to, because it will wilt when it goes into the pan, but I just roughly chop it anyway, and I'll chop the mint and parsley up. Mint's very good for our digestions and the dog's digestion. Parsley, just chopping up roughly there. By the time I finish, there should be some nice texture to this for Bailey to get his few teeth that he's got in his head, get them into. The apple I prepared earlier, and we'll chop that up. I'm now going to put the rest of this in there with the meat. There's some juice from the liver that I'm going to add to this to make it's part of a gravy, but don't make your own gravy. You don't want to add any salt or sugars into your dog's food, so you just want to I'm just using the goodness from the livers and also the goodness from the liquid that's with the kidneys. You don't have to add the blueberries at this point, but a few blueberries in with it. Just mashing up what I can. Breaking up the blueberries. Now I'm going to add the tarragon. It's tarragon, not oregano. My mistake. Smells lovely. Oh, I think I'll eat it myself. Okay, and I'm going to use the knife just to cut some of the meat up a bit more, so it's just a little bit smaller, which is what I should have done when it was raw. But don't forget, dogs originally in the wild wouldn't worry about cutting it up, they do it with their own teeth, but unfortunately Bailey hasn't got 42 teeth in his head, he's only got about 8. So I shall cut this up for him. What do you reckon, Bailey?
Yeah, I'll have some of that, Mr. Hobbs. Yes, I'll have some of that.
Mix it all right up nicely. I'm also going to add another little bit of olive oil into it. Notice I'm not doing any quantities on this because I'm just doing it by eye, but that's just me. I'm going to add some coconut oil, which is really good for them and us. Oh. So just some slithers of coconut oil on a teaspoon goes in there. Have a little smell, see what it's like. Oh, yeah. Lovely. Continue just to cut up some of these for Bailey. If it's not cooked entirely through, that's not the end of the world, because a dog's digestion is a lot tougher than ours. I mean, from their wild days, they're used to eating food raw, but I don't want to give him raw food. But if it's not quite done, it's not the end of the world. Now there's too much here for 1 meal for Bailey, so that means I will be able to freeze at least half of it, and he could have the rest next week or whenever. I'm looking at you. You looking at me? Good boy. Okay, that's what it looks like. Okay, it may not look great, but in a dog's eyes, he's not worried about what it looks like. All he's actually worried about is what it smells like. And there's a lot of smells going on in here, a lot of texture, and I'm sure he's going to enjoy it. What you must do, of course, is to wait for it to cool down, which I've done. And I'm going to put it now into this bowl. So I'm now going to pour some of this in there. Remember, he's got all the goodness from the liver and the kidneys, the gravy of it. Now, you see I've got enough there for another meal. Put that to one side. As you can see, even the presentation now is a lot better. Not that he's worried about it at all. This has cooled down enough for Bailey to eat. Just slightly warm, which is no problem. What I do is I'm going to get Bailey to sit down and wait till I tell him he can eat. It's good manners for him to do that, and he knows the score. Down again, down. Good boy. Stay. Always make sure you've got fresh, clean water available for your dog to drink. Now I'm going to put this in the middle here, just further away from the water, so that Bailey can walk all round it to get the food. And go. Thank you very much. And if you want to see Bailey finish that off,